lunchbox.
I brought my 1920s toolbox.
You're going to be working
That's
on
plenty for me.
a high-rise building in New York.
That's right.
Sitting out on an I-beam. Totally. All right, so let's get this show
Is that an
started.
Apple product? I-beam? Oh my God.
Sue.
That was lame.
Sue.
Great way to start the show.
I-beam.
I-beam?
Sue.
Anyway, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Unbranded podcast. I'm Logan.
I'm Mike.
And I'm Jake.
We are missing one of our show hosts today. Justin
Good
couldn't be
riddance.
with us. Yeah, shame on him.
Yes.
The first podcast we actually get going, and he's not here to be part of it, but we miss him. I'm sure that he'll be here eventually in future episodes. We wanted to start today with a little bit of a roundtable get-to-know-you time. We didn't want to just do the conventional, hi, I'm so-and-so, and I like this. So we decided to leave our chances up to Google and looked for a get-to-know-you quiz. So we're going to start with some questions. Each one of us kind of go around and ask another one of these questions from the quiz. And hopefully you'll get to know us a little bit better and get a feel for who we are. Jake, how about you start with one of those up there? Take your pick.
Now, am I picking questions to answer or to ask?
You can just ask anybody.
Oh,
You
right.
say, Mike, what, da-da-da-da-da.
All right, I'm just going to start from the top. All right, the question is apple juice or orange juice? Mike?
I would have to go with orange juice.
Wrong. Apple juice.
Oh.
Apple juice.
Shame, he's already down like 5 points. He's actually lower than Justin at this point.
He's not even here.
And who's
This
not
is a
even
game?
here.
It's better that you didn't even come.
I shouldn't have shown up at all.
It's true.
All right, so since you got the question, you get to ask the next one. Sounds fair.
Well, I'm just going to be that guy and say scroll down on your high-tech TV since we can't do this on
Okay.
paper.
There we go.
How about, what is usually your first thought when you wake up? And I will say that to Logan.
Oh, crap. Quite literally. That's pretty much what I think. Or something along the lines of, dang it.
Oh,
Here we go again.
I was hoping it was, oh crap, like that time of morning.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, the podcast just went down a sharp notch there.
At least
Mm-hmm.
it's not
let me-
explicit.
No, it's not explicit in any way. Just gross. 5 minutes into the podcast, we're already talking about poo. But yeah, pretty much, I would not say I'm a morning person, and so I wake up and I try to convince myself why I don't need to get up right now, even though I have multiple alarms in the morning to help make sure that I wake up on
How
time.
many?
I'd have to check my phone, but I think I have 7, ranging from 6:30 to 7:45.
Now,
And
what's
if-
the latest you have to wake up?
to get to my first deal of the morning, I should be up at about 6:45 to get in the shower. I usually will push it to like 6:55 and take a faster shower.
But out the door is...
Out the door, I need to be leaving like 7:15, 7:20, and I can usually get there, right around.
So the 7:45 alarm is like, hey, you
Yeah.
had your alarms.
Yeah, 7:45 is I'm screwed. Might as well not go at this point.
You really shouldn't see my phone. Like, I have the same thing. Like, every day I just kind of like set the edit, and I go like to 6:45, 7:45, and then all the way to 9:45. So it's like my buzzer will just go off constantly, and I'll never hear it. I'll just turn it off.
I thought that this would be a good idea, actually, having the multiple alarms to help make sure that I wake up. But I actually found that it makes it harder because I start convincing myself that because I've got the other alarms, I'm safe to go back to sleep for another 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So it almost became worse and more of a problem with sleeping in than it ever was before. Because it used to be if I woke up and it woke me up at like 6:45 and that was the only alarm, it was oh crap, I got to get going, that sort of a thing. Mornings aren't fun, to be honest. Here's one for Jake. What do you usually think about right before falling asleep?
That's hard. Lately it's been, I'm not tired. What with school starting and everything, it's like, all right, Jake, you got to go to sleep because you got to get up early and everything. So, like, I lay down, turn the lights off and everything, and it's like, I could stay up and I could play on the computer. I could watch a movie. I could do something right now.
Right, yeah.
I've been in the same kind of routine too.
I used to be the same way recently, though we've tried to cut back on going to sleep by watching TV or a movie or anything.
Oh, yeah.
I found that it's harder for me to go back to sleep or go to sleep. We started reading, which is good in a lot of different ways, just before bed now. And we try and watch our shows earlier in the day. But I have a similar thing. I lay down and I just go, what do I have to do tomorrow? Go through the schedule of the day. And that usually gets me if I'm not already dead tired.
Well, honestly, like with me, we don't have a TV in the bedroom. Brenda's always had like a firm grasp on that. Like, no, TV's
We should
not in
clarify Brenda is your wife.
People find out who Brenda is as
Yes.
I go on.
Okay.
I just found out.
Anyway.
So Mike,
there's no...
his wife is Brenda.
Okay. I don't have one.
Anyway. So there's no TV, but we have a laptop that we'll totally watch movies on and YouTube and whatever. But it's an old laptop, and the battery's totally dead. And so if the cord jiggles like at all, it'll totally turn off the computer. So for the most part, like, that's my clock on, like, oh, the computer unplugged itself. I should probably go to bed.
Due to like being so tired, you knock your computer off the shelf and you're like, oh, I guess that's about the time of night. 2 in the morning.
Again, more of this convincing yourself to, you're too lazy to get out of bed to fix it. So it's like, all right, I might as well go to sleep now.
Yeah. All right, let's see. This is embarrassing. I probably should have picked one.
Probably.
Mike, what's your favorite color?
10 minus points. Jake's now at the bottom.
Time wasting.
You know what's funny? Like, for a long time, it was always white, but I'm going to say blue just so I don't sound racist.
And we could get into the whole white's not a color argument.
Wait,
but
hold
Some
on.
would say it's on the spectrum.
Wait, what's the absence of color? Is that black?
Black is the
Black's
absence.
the absence of light.
White is the
White
inclusion of all color.
yes.
Right.
It is light.
So I love all color. Wow, I'm
What
the
a
coolest
stupid
person in this
answer.
room. I love it. Thank you.
Wow.
I love all colors.
Let me see. Jake, ninjas versus pirates.
Ninjas.
Discuss. I think that's all you have to say too. Ninjas.
I think it's the difference from turtles and scurvy.
No one likes scurvy.
Turtles and scurvy?
Yeah, Ninja Turtles.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
Or pirate with Lyme disease or something. I don't know.
I was going to say Johnny Depp versus Chris Farley.
That's
okay.
tough.
Now that's a more that's
That
a
is
difficult.
tough.
inside,
Because when you get
inside.
into the actors, yeah, Johnny Depp. I don't think of Jack Sparrow when I think of Johnny Depp. I think of, like, Edward Scissorhands when I think of Johnny Depp. Like,
So you're
I
one
think
of
of
those
one of
people.
his, like, million other roles. So,
One of the less popular,
Yeah.
less friendly
but Chris
roles.
Farley, that is pretty much like automatic ninja though
Ninja.
for me.
Beverly Hills Ninja. The fat ninja.
That's
but
true.
Can you think of
Oh,
any other
man, the
ninjas
90s.
like out there that you can automatically come to mind? Because you say ninja, Chris Farley automatically comes into my head.
Well, it's turtles for me, dude. I was in that wave. I'm that old.
I guess
old
I
enough.
was right on the outside of it.
I mean, we still got a little bit of the Ninja Turtle stuff, but just not. We got the bad remake for the Saturday afternoon or
Oh,
morning.
you thought it was bad? I loved it, but
Yeah, it just wasn't anything like the original.
I had the toys, but I never got into it. Like, the generation before us.
Right.
All
Okay.
right. Logan, list one thing you wish you could change about yourself.
I wish I was shorter.
How
For
tall
the-
are you?
For the audience that doesn't know,
That plays
I'm
well
6'6".
to
Jake
I'm
is
6'7".
6'7". And
Mike's
I don't know, 6'9"
I'm
with your
6'12".
hair.
with his hair standing up.
Thank you. that makes me feel great.
We just need to start spiking your hair, then you'll be taller. I could do a little bit without some of the height that I've got. I know there's a lot of people out there that hate me for that comment.
That's true. It seems like the world's stance on height is, oh, I wish I had more.
Yeah, it's
oh,
always
you're so lucky.
But they don't understand what it's like to be able to not be able to go to most general department stores and buy clothing or buy shoes or
no,
really
no, no.
anything.
You can buy clothing and shoes. You won't look cool.
Oh,
but
yeah.
You can buy clothing and shoes.
I mean, if I want to, rock my midriff or something like that, yeah, I could buy clothes at Walmart.
You
But
look like a grandpa. My problem, I mean, I'm imposing on your question, and I'm sorry. But, I mean, I've been this size, like, forever.
How dare you?
So trying to be a teenager and trying to dress cool when you're bigger than all the cool clothes,
yeah.
it sucked because you're either a basketball player, which I wasn't, or a grandpa, which I wasn't. So
Totally.
it was a funky combination of the two. That was my wardrobe.
Well, one of the worst things for me, especially in middle school, with that awkward height where I was, 6 or 8 inches taller than anyone else my age, my mom started to have me wear women's clothing, women's shirts and stuff. Well, because an average woman's t-shirt would fit me, minus the breasts. And
was it all the room in the breasts?
Yeah, it was just awkward wearing clothing like that. The shirts really weren't that bad. It wasn't a full-on adult woman size shirt, but it was that medium size where there just really wasn't anything that was long enough that would fit me in men's clothing or in teens clothing or men's clothing. It was rough as a kid.
That's resourceful.
Yeah, until somebody notices and they're like, you're wearing a women's shirt, and you're just like, shut up. Leave me alone, dude.
And then you hit them.
Yeah, pound the top of their head
Exactly.
because I can see it.
Logan slam.
Reveal cast.
The worst thing about that, though, and you probably had the same thing, was the growing pains in your legs going to sleep at night, where your legs would just ache from the inside out, and it would be like you'd want to scratch them through everything till you got to the bone.
I'm so refreshing we're having this. It's refreshing we're having this conversation because the other day Logan and Mike went off on something techie and all sorts of gamer things where I'm like, I have no
That's
idea
fine.
what they're talking about. Right now, Mike's the quietest thing I've ever heard sitting on the
That
couch.
has never happened to me. I've never
He's
had
like,
growing
I
pains.
didn't know what growing pains were.
I
All
grew
right.
into
What
myself quite well.
We finally found the one topic that Mike can't
Average
jump in
man.
on.
Well, I'm 6'1". I consider myself tall, but like
You are
guys,
tall.
I'm the
Yeah.
smallest guy in the room.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah, it's true. But when Justin is here,
Is he shorter?
He's somewhere close to your height. I think he is shorter than 6'1", though.
Huh.
So he would be the smallest in the group, and we could make more fun of him. And he would no longer be the shortest.
Thank
But
God.
yeah, no, it's.
I don't usually walk into rooms and feel like this.
Yeah, we get that quite a bit, where people are like, they
towering
walk
force.
in and it's like, whoa, and we'll stand in the hallways in a building or something like that, like over at our church building, and somebody will walk by and they're like, holy cow, it's like walking by two towers.
Yeah.
I'm going to continually say you're taller, and I hope you do the same, just to throw off people.
I think it'd be funny
Because I
to
think
do
the
that.
talk is more valuable than the actual knowledge that people have. Because when they're just walking down
Right.
the hallway, you don't know how tall a person is.
Oh, absolutely
But
not.
when you're standing next to one guy and look across the room at the other, you just say, "Oh yeah, no, he's taller."
Okay, here, Jake, let's go back to you then. Are you mostly a clean or a messy person?
Ooh.
You were hoping for the $1 million question, I know, but I wanted to throw this one in.
Honestly, I haven't even been looking at the question.
I know,
I'm
I know.
sorry.
Shame on you both.
We got into a great
You know
conversation
what?
about height.
It totally depends on the area of life we're talking about. Because honestly, like, I would probably say messy, just because if you came into my house, it would look that way. But like, I don't know. There are some areas in my life where it's like, no, everything has a place. And it's sad to say it's my toys.
Right.
It's the stuff you spend your money on. You're like, oh, this is a case. Oh, I got to clean this. Oh, you got to use that to clean that. Like I probably have the cleanest guitars and stuff that I don't know,
Cleaner than mine.
a lot of people have had. But if you go into my bathroom sink, you'll see little, splotches of toothpaste splatter on the mirror from when I brush my teeth with my mouth
Right.
open and stuff like that.
Oh, totally.
Great
Cat
in the gym.
hair over- Simple question. Wow, that was the shortest answer.
Yeah,
I
that's
loved it.
probably the shortest answer we've had so far.
We're
Take that,
soaking it in.
folks.
I love how the farther down we go, the more deep the questions get. Like it starts getting into what personality traits do you dislike in other people? It's like, yeah, that's a great turnoff for potential audience members.
The last question is going to be, do you believe in capital punishment?
Right,
Yes.
totally. List 5 goals in your life's to-do list. Name one regret you have. Let's steer away from
What is
those,
going on
shall
here?
we?
I thought this was a lighthearted quiz.
Yeah, totally.
Who have you murdered? That's something I don't want to answer.
This seems like a blend between something you see on Facebook and something you'd see on like a police questionnaire.
Oh,
like,
man, do you
have you ever
remember?
committed a felony?
Do you remember those MySpace quizzes?
Mm?
Were you guys on MySpace when
Yeah.
every
Yeah.
day was a new quiz
Oh, I hated
and
that.
everyone had to do it?
I think that's the reason MySpace ultimately fell, though, is because they got too personal with everybody. So we went to
Because all of your
Facebook,
information was there.
and Facebook is not like the definition of staying out of people's business, but MySpace is worse.
Facebook is stalking gone legal.
Like I won't say I do it because
Of
I
course
disagree. I don't think it's stalking gone legal.
no,
I think
Logan, what are you doing?
it's faux friendship is what it is, in my
Faux
opinion.
friendship.
A person will find you on Facebook that you haven't seen in 15 years.
Sure.
You'll add them. You go, oh yeah, I know you. You look at their life right there on that day. You go, okay, and then you never
I
talk to
saw
them
that
again.
coming.
I have
Yeah.
liberally used the block
it's
button.
It's the ones where high school acquaintances, and you're just like, I wonder how they turned out. And you look at them, it's like, all right, so
It is
10 years have
refreshing.
gone by.
It's actually really refreshing sometimes to see where people have ended up.
Make you feel good.
Yeah, and you're just like, I'm the winner in that one.
You ended up in jail. Called it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, back to the lighthearted, not so quiz.
Mike, name one thing you miss about being a kid.
Ninja Turtles.
That is a tough one
I've
because
already brought up Ninja Turtles.
no, see, I don't miss it at all.
Yeah, let them
Like, let me think. I would say the one thing I missed about childhood, it would have to be probably how parents as a child do anything you wanted. You didn't really have you had rules set up
Major
for you.
responsibilities.
Like now that I'm an adult, I was waiting years to get to this point. Now I'm like, this is it. I actually have to pay taxes. That's cool. Can I go back? Can I live with my parents again?
You remember when
totally.
people celebrated your birthday?
Yeah. Now I go on Facebook and let the notifications roll in.
Yeah.
That's right. I am that popular.
I don't know. I'd say it's nap time. I mean, you never appreciate that as a kid, being forced to go to sleep in the middle. Down in
That's
Mexico
true.
with the siesta, that they've got the right thing going on. And now I have lunch in the middle of the day, middle of the work day, and I'm just ready to roll up for a nap. Crawl underneath my desk and hang out for an hour.
I think when I was in kindergarten, I had one teacher she let everybody else go to nap time except for me. And I don't know why to this day. I think she was punching me.
You wet the bed, huh? You wet the mat.
I probably did. Well, that's not the reason we talked about that, but it's just for some reason
everyone else had the carpet mat, but you had a rubber.
It was a rubber mat.
Yeah.
So see, I wasn't actually the monitor. That's just what they told me to make me feel better about myself.
Totally.
Thanks for bringing up memories.
Anyway,
you know what? The naps were okay for me. It was the having time to nap. Like the days and weeks and months seemed so long as a kid.
No, I find naps all day.
Don't talk.
It's my thing.
It just makes me cringe when you say things like that. Having time to nap.
Be in college.
Yeah. So I would say it's definitely nap time for me, and just having the time. I remember sitting down and playing with Legos or fighting with my little brother, and you just don't have time for those things anymore.
You made me feel like all nostalgic and melancholy, and I'm just hurt now.
This is the downer portion of the podcast.
Let's throw this.
Yeah, seriously. I'm looking down the questions like, what else could we ask? And honestly, these questions.
The bottom is going to ask, do you believe in God?
Well, I love this one. You're about to walk the Green Mile. What do you have as your last meal? It's like, how could we make this podcast turn any more downer at this point?
I do miss Michael Clark Duncan, though.
He's gone.
I know. Isn't that sad? For those of you that don't know who Michael Clark Duncan is, you may have seen him on shows like The Finder. It was a little bit of a spin-off on Bones, or a test thing that was first run on Bones in an episode. Became its own TV show and then was canceled. And
well, he was mainly known for The Green Mile, right?
He was mostly The Green Mile.
And then he was in Armageddon.
He was in Armageddon.
My favorite in Armageddon.
Probably the best part of the Armageddon.
He was Bear. Yeah.
He was Bear in Armageddon, which was great. And all around, like every character I've seen him act, just really fun. I felt very connected to his characters in a comedic sense. Like, he's been very entertaining. Mm-hmm. And it's sad to see him go.
Did you ever see The Island?
He was the only good part of The Island.
He was my favorite part of The Island.
Yeah.
The rest of the movie was just running. Ewan McGregor and I don't even remember who the chick was, but they were just running the whole movie.
Scarlett Johansson.
It was Scarlett Johansson?
Yeah. Playing
it was Scarlett Johansson,
because
wasn't it?
I only remember that because there was a scene where it's the future and it's like a post-apocalyptic, and yet they're playing the original Xbox, like, except it's holograms for some reason. I didn't understand that.
I thought that was really funny. I just think that they were trying to be very creative at that point.
On a final note, though, like, I would go to movies for Michael Clark Duncan just to see him act in it. Like, I remember going to terrible movies just because I was like, Michael Clark Duncan is this.
Well, now that we kind of like segmented away from, or gone away from the pop quiz, and we've gotten into the movies. Oh yes, get your water from over there. No, that mic's off. You're good. We're gonna pull back the curtain here. We should actually kind of talk a little bit how we got started and what we're doing with this podcast, especially since we got into the movies section. All of us at different points in time have talked about doing a podcast for a while. I think, Jake, you were one of the more recent people that I talked to about it. Justin and Mike and I, we had always been interested in it. The three of us were really big fans of the Mike O'Mara Show, and we can plug them, of course, because they have no idea who we are, and they're not going to care.
And they never will.
We're not on
they
their
probably
radar.
never will unless we somehow get close to them on iTunes. If that won't happen. But there's a couple of really big radio heads that were big influences for me for wanting to do a podcast. The Mike O'Mara Show being one of them. When they came off of terrestrial radio, and I think it's been over 2 years.
2.5 years, I think.
It's close. Yeah, it's between 2.5
this.
and 3 years now that they started doing a podcast. And have been very, very successful, and I've loved and really enjoyed watching their show. I know, Mike, you and I both listened to them when they were on terrestrial, Justin as well. It was a fun variety show to listen to. Also, the Rooster Teeth podcast was Rooster Teeth Productions. They're commonly known for their Machinima series. There we go.
Ripping off Halo animations, I guess.
I would never call it ripping off.
It's not a slight, though.
Careful there, yeah. They created a web series called Red vs. Blue, which has been phenomenally successful over the last 10 years. They're now in their 10th season. And I think it was probably about 3 years ago, somewhere around the same time, doing a podcast as well that was just a lot of fun. And so I got this idea. It's like, man, it's so easy to do a podcast. Little did I know how much we've already invested in equipment and all different sorts of things. And how much more we're going to have to make this sound better. Because for those of you out there that are going, man, this sounds like crap. We know. Be patient. We're getting there.
We're getting on the level we want to be at.
And get your money's worth.
None of us are professional broadcasters or producers on any level. Well, I think, Jake, you have the most experience.
I've gotten paid for doing things. I won't lie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I've been a freelance DJ for a while. It's been big in our family. Mike, I mean, you've done internships and you've had quite a bit of experience in broadcasting of different forms.
Worked with several radio stations in the Sacramento area.
Yeah.
I've wrapped and uncoiled many a cable in my day. I've been talking for years.
Now we just get to hopefully get paid for it. Who knows how the show will go. This, of course, is it's a threesome right now. Hopefully, once Justin is able to be with us more frequently, when his work schedule is not quite so out there, we'll be able to have all four of us going, and that might open things up a little bit more.
Open things up. I'm planning on not talking when he's here.
Yeah, what's going on?
Jake's just sitting in the corner.
He'll fill up all my time.
But for you, Mike, I mean, what was one of the biggest draws to wanting to do a project like this?
Just listening to the radio. Like, if you go farther back, if you're like a radio historian, before the Michael Mara show, it was the Don and Mike show, and I was growing up listening to that. And actually, there's some guys, I think down in San Diego that I listen to a lot. They're called Mega 64. They got really big with online sketches that they did where they went around doing video game characters. But I actually was more interested in their podcast where they would sit around like every Sunday or Saturday, I can't remember which, and they would just talk about what was going on in their lives. And it was a really interesting and collaborative way of just talking about what their business was. And I always thought, you know what, I can do that. There's nothing to it. And now I'm realizing, oh, wait.
And kind of the focus that we wanted to go with is, being a little bit of a variety show. We wanted to entertain people. I think all of us have a draw to entertaining. Jake, you've probably had the most experience in front of live performance entertainment in your different bands, your different forms of music that you produce. I mean, tell us a little bit about your experience in that realm.
I've been in front of people. For the most part, like we said earlier, I'm about 6'7", and I've been this size for years, so I'm used to people watching me. Got two brothers that are the same size, so even just like going to a restaurant, that was my favorite, absolute favorite. You know how you walk in restaurants and you kind of have hallways of different booths on the left and right?
Yeah.
Well, when you walk down that little aisleway of different booths and you make eye contact with each person because they're looking up at these tall people just walking around.
Who was that?
That, and my mom was always so like,
Freaks.
People are watching you. You got to look good. You got to, be presentable, this and that.
Totally.
People are watching you because you stand out. And so, I don't know, that's always been in my subconscious. But yeah, I sing, I play guitar, I've been in bands, I write songs and stuff. So I've been used to standing in front of mics and saying things. And it's really funny, actually, because after a while, I don't know if it's, I wouldn't say I'm good at it, because I'm horrible at talking, actually. The more you stay around me, you're going to realize how many words I use incorrectly and how I'm not good at it. But
it's okay. We'll blame.
But for the most part, like realizing, the priority of everything. It's like I took communications classes in college and stuff like that, and you get around people that get so nervous.
Yeah.
The teacher's like, I want everyone to stand in front of the class and say what you had for breakfast today. Something so minute as that, and everyone would be so nervous, and they'd be like, oh, I'm going to be at the end of the line. I'm going to go last.
Totally.
I'm like, okay. And so I would go and I'd say my bit, and a teacher didn't ask me, but a teacher asked my friend, a fellow musician that I play with, Brett, and Brett took a class, and the teacher, everyone asked him, Brett, how do you do so well? How do you do so good? And he's like, this isn't important.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I mean,
this doesn't matter.
A night class at a junior college, in the spring of 07, doesn't impact too many people, and so
we're going to change lives with our breakfast story.
Yeah,
I don't know what you're talking about.
And so I mean, I don't mean at all to downplay the podcast, because I think things are as important as you make them. But still, I mean, as far as getting nervous, I mean, just being myself.
I love being able to connect with the hosts, hear their stories, and we do hope that in the future we'll have some of these personal life anecdotes that we can bring to the table and kind of share and open up the curtain a little bit to let people see a little bit of our uninteresting lives that maybe they'll find interesting. But then, we also have pretty varying backgrounds. Myself and Justin, we come from pretty strong IT, computer, and technical backgrounds.
I was born a poor Mexican child.
Jake, you poor Mexican child, which
As
we can
am I.
also blame your mispronunciation and misuse of words on as well.
Whoa.
Zing.
Hey! It's that kind of a podcast.
Ouch.
We've got kind of the IT background, and then we kind of share a lot of experience. We worked in the same company for quite a while. Justin's now still working for that company. I have my own endeavors in different fields. Mike, I mean, you have quite a bit of production background. You and I have worked on video types projects in the past. And how did you originally get into the broadcasting sphere?
Oh, I'd say it started ever since like middle school. Like I picked up a camera one day. I was working for their what is that called in middle school? I think it's the media department.
Oh yeah, their daily news thing.
Yeah, like I was the news media
department.
Yeah, with the televisions, we had like this. I remember in my middle school, we actually had a television show that
we did too.
We did every day, and it was like the daily news that was shown the next morning.
Not only was I a poor Mexican child, but I lived in a small town, so
these things never came about.
These things didn't come about. Shoot, my high school didn't even have stuff like that.
Yeah, our high school didn't either. I think that's the only school I've ever seen be able to do
it's
that.
It's sad when your life peaked at middle school.
Yeah, something like that.
The John Barrett newscast, and actually, like, you know, we had kids who were working and they were doing the newspaper thing, and I picked up a camera and I said, hey, can I do something with this? And they're like, yeah, go for it. We got the news thing. So we would shoot media stuff and have like little productions. And that just kind of spiraled through high school. And yeah, now I'm still like, I do freelance stuff for local films that come through Sacramento. It's actually been kind of a fun process. Like I got to meet, it's sad that the most famous person I've ever worked with is here
we go, dropping names.
Exactly. I can't even remember his name. The big bodybuilder guy from Smoking Aces. That's...
Oh...
Doesn't even count if you don't know his name.
Pictures or it didn't happen. Yeah,
that name.
We'll find his name later on, and all of a sudden, the only reason we get picked up on Google is because we referenced him at some point.
Yep.
So now what we need to do is just start referencing as many famous celebrities as possible. Just name drop like crazy, and we'll climb the charts. You know, that's what we'll do. And that could be the entire podcast. It's just one by one going around the circle naming celebrities.
I do have one story. I don't know if I can tell it, but me and my brother did meet Vanessa Hudgens, and we do have a story that I think I'll table that for this time, but because I got to tell that story and it takes a little bit. It's a setup and then there's a payoff.
Wow,
it's fun going through Hollywood and just meeting people that you're not supposed to meet.
And then as well, you know, Mike, you and I, the three of us, you, me, and Justin, we have a lot of video game experience in that we play them. Jake, I think
I've been exposed here and there, but...
And I'm falling off a little bit, but I'm still aware of it. It's sad that I haven't played a game in a while, but I'm still in like the know, if you want to call it that.
It's sad because you have more time than probably the three of us combined, but probably played less than some of the others. Oh, I'm popping in my microphone again.
Time. You guys have no time to play, and yet you find the time.
Anyway, but you know, the three of us have quite some experience with video games, and Jake, as you were saying, you kind of dabble here and there.
You don't need to have experience to talk about video games,
no.
So I'm totally qualified.
Absolutely
Everybody's
qualified. So we have some experience with video games, with production on different levels.
You
Music.
want to know something cool? Here's something that Jake's told you about video games.
Okay.
Put your finger in your ear and scratch it. It's Pac-Man. Everyone do it right now.
Oh, the noise.
Oh, that's
Pac-Man noise.
It is that. Oh, you're right.
Oh my god.
Okay, so now let's wait for everybody in the audience to quit.
They've done it. They've done it from the time I said it to now.
They took their headphones out.
Put your finger in your ear and just scratch it. So many people are going to forget to wash their ear later and like accidentally put their finger in their mouth and taste earwax.
And they'll just rip it out and go Pac-Man.
All right, more
type
bodily
of stuff.
function stuff. Yeah, and so we're going to have a lot of different segments in the future, we hope, kind of talking about things that we've been involved with, new things in technology. You know, the iPhone 5 just dropped. I don't think any of us care, except maybe you do, Mike. I mean, I think you're the only iPhone user here.
And sadly, I've dropped off that boat.
I was kind of into iPhones for a while. I thought
that's a bigger screen.
Yeah, it's longer and it weighs less and it goes faster, just like the phone I bought did.
You know, Apple has done an amazing thing with making their market believe that their new device, for as minor the upgrades as they may be, is a life-changing experience that they cannot live without.
Mm-hmm.
There's been multiple interviews of potential. I can't even. Was it Jimmy Fallon? No, I don't think it was Jimmy. There was somebody who did an experiment where they had an iPhone 4S.
Oh, Jimmy Kimmel did it.
Was it Jimmy?
It was Jimmy Kimmel.
Jimmy Kimmel did it. And he went around and he had an iPhone 4S and he pretended that it was an iPhone 5. And he would interview people on the street and say, hey, do you want to take a look at an iPhone 5? Mm-hmm. And he would hand them the phone and they would just start praising it. Oh, yeah, the bigger screen, full HD. It feels lighter. Oh, yeah, this is so much better than my iPhone 4S. And, it's absolute baloney. It's just this...
It feeds into... you got to have the newest, the best. Like, you can't just be happy with having this iPhone 4. Like, I actually didn't jump on until this phone. Like, I was... And I'm still at the point where I could jump back off. Like, give me an iPod and give me a regular cell phone. Give me my flip phone back, and I'll be just as happy as this phone. Like, I don't need the internet when I'm walking around. I don't need to be going on Facebook as fast. I don't know. Like, some people
for it all the time.
They have to live with this phone. They need the newest version when it comes out. And I've never been on board. I just like my iPhone.
Yeah, by the way, for all the audience out there, we are not an Apple hate cast or anything like that.
No,
It's
no. Apparently we are.
Oh, okay. Maybe we are a little
I
bit.
have the phone and
I have no
The-
major
The
hard
last 3
feelings.
minutes testify otherwise.
Yeah, good job.
All right, maybe we aren't huge fans of Apple for different varying reasons. It's interesting, that people have gotten so excited about the release of the iPhone 5, and they will do the same thing for the iPad 3. When there's so many other things out there that are not just comparable, but maybe even better than those devices that kind of get put under the wayside because of how well Apple has done marketing their products and building this culture about their products. It's kind of funny.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so hopefully we'll be able to get some of the technology discussion in here. We'll be able to talk about some of the new and trending games. There's lots of stuff coming up in the next couple of months as we lead up to the holiday season.
We're hitting about that season where everything's coming out and they're pushing stuff.
We're post E3, so we know a lot of the stuff that is coming. Jake, do you have any idea what E3 is?
I blanked out for about the last 3 minutes.
Hey, that's totally fine.
I know. Don't worry, I blanked out too.
I'm just talking to myself here. So yeah, E3 coming out. There's a lot of games in the works, including Halo 4. That's probably one of the biggest heavy hitter games that is coming out this year that I think a lot of people are looking forward to. And
it's funny, actually, like to think about that. 10 years ago, it would have been if you made a game like Call of Duty was a Halo killer. Now,
Right.
Halo 4 is a Call of Duty killer. Like,
absolutely.
They think this is the game that's going to stop Call of Duty from being the big budget, most produced thing
most
ever.
purchased, or highest demand. I don't know. I'm in no way a marketing expert when it comes to video games or how that goes. Everything is a something killer.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's an iPhone killer. Everything's an Android killer. Everything's a Halo killer. I'm about done with that turn of phrase of beating out another product. They're all good stuff. I mean, I'm a huge fan of the Battlefield series. Jake, I think we talked about this as we were prepping for our podcast earlier this last week. It's a really excellent game for the PC. It's a great first-person shooter game. I don't consider it to be competitive with Halo because they're in totally different spectrums for me. They're totally different experiences. But yet I see all the time, the Battlefield is going to take over the first-person shooter genre, and it's going to be the next thing, and everybody's going to forget about Halo. And I kind of go, whatever.
Yeah, frankly, it doesn't matter.
No, it really doesn't. So back to including Jake in the podcast.
James Bond GoldenEye
You shut
64.
down.
There we go. Last major
Hey,
first-person
Include
shooter
me there.
that Jake
Probably the best
played.
game ever made.
They actually came
Trumps
out
them
with
all.
a redo of that game
Mhm.
for current consoles.
It's GoldenEye Source, I think.
GoldenEye Source. I mean, I never even looked at it. I had that little interest in it, but
Mhm.
it could actually be kind of fun to see what they did with that series.
Well, it's based off the Half-Life engine. Like,
is it?
Half-Life 2, like they use the Source engine. And actually, as we're recording this, I think Black Mesa Source just dropped.
Black Mesa Source did just drop today,
And I've heard a lot from people talking about it, saying that it's actually like Game of the Year material. It's funny that the best game that's been produced this year is a reskin of a game from, 20 years ago now? Maybe 15?
I don't know.
Someone looked that up. Half-Life 1. When was that game made?
Google it.
Yes.
If we had a computer.
We're not going to work.
It's not like I have 3 computers sitting around me.
Game prep.
Of course, and so that's stuff that we can also talk about later as Black
Google
Mesa
it on
comes
your
out.
iPhone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Mr. Internet. Find out.
Well, I told you it's not that fast as the iPhone 5.
Absolutely not. I
Smaller.
beat you on my Android. Let's go. 3, 2, 1.
As we shut
Cheater.
down and we're ignoring
my little
the
Nokia?
podcast.
I don't know.
Play Snake.
Snake. Oh man, I miss that game so much.
And so we'll have our little bit of video game time. There goes Jake hanging up on his microphone.
Amateur.
Hey,
Touching stuff.
mic skills. We have lots to learn. Hopefully, our audience will be patient with us and enjoy us as we learn how to do what we actually.
Or get used to it.
Yeah, or just suck it up. It's free. So we've got that. We've got the technology aspect. Another segment that I'd love to do in the future is what are we watching? Mike, do you have the date for that Half-Life?
2001 was for the PlayStation 2, but
Oh,
it
man.
came out for computers in 1998. So
1998.
2008 plus 4, that's about 14, 15 years now.
That's 14
So old.
years at least. So.
I was alive in '98.
I was aware
I was doing
of things
stuff.
in 98. I had never played Half-Life 1. I played
No,
Half-Life 2, but
I played Half-Life 2. I never played Half-Life 1.
But I'm thinking about getting Black Mesa and checking it out.
But moving on to the TV spectrum as well, I think that's probably going to be more inclusive because all of us do watch our television.
Everyone watches television.
Though what we're watching may vary quite a bit. Wow, I cannot talk. It might vary a lot. I'm trying to say it varies very much.
Don't try to sound too smart, Logan. Just say how it is.
Keep it low. Keep it going.
Low-key.
I can speak as the Englishy. Yeah, that's not racist.
Well, we all know Jake likes So You Think You Can Dance in the X Factor, and we're gonna try to stomach through your
It's
choices.
the voice.
I honestly, I gave up on American Idol in its 3rd season.
I gave up
and
at
I
the
have
first.
never turned back to any of those series, the X Factor, The Voice, Idol, any of that since then, except for maybe once in a while where there's some viral video of an amazing or a really crappy singer that makes its way through Facebook.
Yeah.
There's Mike hitting his microphone.
Mic bump.
Shame on you. Another negative 2
knew I
points.
was
You
gonna do
might
it,
be
too.
you might be below Jake now. Anyway,
Pretty darn close.
So yeah, but Jake, what are you watching recently?
What am I watching?
Yeah, anything
you
at
know
all?
what? It's totally nothing special. I watch stuff to keep noise on in my house while I cook in the kitchen or something.
Oh, yeah?
So it's really whatever is on the hour, but I've totally jumped on the Big Bang Theory bandwagon as of late.
Really?
I haven't touched it at all, but just in like the last year, it's been, hey, this is on when I cook dinners. So there you go.
I watched a couple episodes of Big Bang Theory, and I understand that there's this group, which includes my father, that loved the show. I didn't grab onto it too well. I didn't find it that entertaining. And it wasn't that, I was offended by any of the nerd material. I mean, I don't associate myself with being anywhere as smart as what they want the characters to be. It wasn't that. I didn't find myself laughing at the jokes the same way others were. And it's not that maybe I'm not smart enough to catch the jokes.
Mm-hmm.
I started thinking
ding,
that
ding,
way.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
No, shut up.
No, I totally believe it.
It wasn't really my thing at the time. I'm sure if I gave it more of a chance, I'd be into the Big Bang Theory. But I mean, what was the drive for you to watch it? I mean, what makes it entertaining for you?
Honestly, for me, I mean, not that like you have to be a total nerd to get into it, but
Sure.
I mean, personally, I'm whatever side of your brain is more like artsy, math, and science side. I think that's the side that I'm like better at because all the science jokes and things they say.
Math and arts and stuff are on opposite sides.
I'm pretty
of the
sure
brain.
math and science and art are together.
I think math.
Google it on your iPhone.
Math is with analytical. I can do this. It's the left side does arts and stuff, and the right side is math and analytical.
I was right. Suck it.
Whatever.
Anyway, okay. So
This is how much I'm taking it personally.
Come
You
on.
used your whole brain, whereas I
Either
only used
way.
half of it.
Yeah, and then you shut your brain off to watch The Big Bang Theory.
I've always been good at science and stuff, so it just
Right.
I get some of this stuff.
I mean, is it legitimately accurate in the sciencey? And
Oh yeah, no, all the
jokes that they-
science nerd stuff is true, but still, it's just the way that they use it. I mean, the jokes are still jokes. I mean, you don't have to be a science nerd to get the jokes.
My dad really loves the show. He finds it very entertaining. He also likes Eureka, which is a similar show in some ways that it has a very nerdy scientific science core, but it's not
They
anywhere
fudge
the
the
same
science
show.
so much on that show, though. Like,
Yeah, they
Eureka basically says, we're going to throw out everything you know about science. Gravity doesn't work in this show.
Yeah. I kind of got, the feeling from Eureka of being like the 2100, or is that what it was, the 2100?
Yeah, same network, I think.
Yeah. They've kind of got this whole... It reminded me of Fringe a little bit, except not quite as serious as Fringe. And I didn't like Fringe either just because it was kind of gross.
Oh, my God.
Yeah,
Someone hates Fringe here?
Yeah, I don't like Fringe.
Is
Do
it
you
because-
have any idea what Fringe is, Jake?
I know what Fringe is. I don't watch it, so no
Is it because,
comment.
have you ever gotten past the first season, or...
No, I gave up halfway through the first season.
Isn't Fringe the guy from the Mighty Ducks?
I think so. He was in the Mighty Ducks. He was one of the kids.
actually, I think
Yeah, it
you're
was
right.
Charlie.
I will say, go to season 2, just skip Fringe. Actually, last 2 episodes of Fringe of season 1, and then continue on from there, because it becomes a great show.
Oh, okay.
It becomes actually probably the best show I watched. I dropped off it ever since like last season, but I would say that it's probably up there.
Preaching from a man who already dropped a show.
Mm-hmm.
Please.
It was more because it's just so dense.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Hypocrite.
And
Absolutely hypocrite.
yeah. But
It-
Big Bang Theory, what are we doing here?
Yeah, way to talk, Big Bang Theory.
Whatever.
I mean, as far as the TV shows that we watch in our household, I think that they do tend to be more serious, with a couple lighthearted ones. I don't think either of you had seen Suits, right, Mike?
No, I've never seen it actually.
Okay, Suits is a great show. I believe it's on AMC. No, it's not on AMC. Mad Men is on AMC. I think it's on USA.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's on USA.
Google it.
Just a great... Yeah, we need to be fact-checking.
Well, it's like TNT, they know Drama USA. They're... What's USA? USA, we know comedy or something.
We know drama.
That's TNT.
You guys need to research all your stuff.
Yeah, we need to have somebody just in the room fact-checking the stuff that we say.
Somebody said something one time.
We are about as accurate as Wikipedia. In the sense that we say things, therefore they are, which is pretty much, I think, like the logo of Wikipedia.
We are the writers of Wikipedia.
With Wikipedia, though, everything is correct now. Does anybody have an encyclopedia?
They've really stepped up their game over at Wikipedia. Though it's funny, they still do not allow that for most legitimate college courses as a source.
Oh yeah.
Just because of the problems in the past. I think it'll be interesting when that changes. I actually had a couple of professors in the last year who have just gone on and on and on about their hatred for internet-based encyclopedia of any kind, even dictionaries. And it's kind of like, I understand where it's coming from. You just hate technology. You hate the new side of things where we're able to look up stuff on our phones. You are so driven by this, the book is the law mentality. But anyway, did you find out what it actually was?
It was on USA.
It's on USA. Okay. Suits is a great show. It's something that I've been watching since the very first season. My dad originally said, hey, check this out. It's kind of weird that I get most of my viewing from my dad.
Your dad. Does your mom tell you to watch anything?
No. Maybe Downton Abbey, but I said absolutely not. I'm not that bored.
That's a really good show.
Hey, you can get out of my house.
I'm sorry.
You should listen to your mother.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Mom, if you're listening out there. I think at some point I saw her watching it and asked her what it was about, and I think she really enjoys it. From what I've heard, Downton Abbey is really well written, and it was very entertaining. Just wasn't my cup of tea. Didn't really catch my interest at all. There I go using a phrase I would normally not use, cup of tea. Suits, on the other hand, very lighthearted. It does have a little bit of drama. It's a very entertaining show about a law firm, a guy that never should have ended up in this law firm due to his lifestyle and past choices, and how he and one of the best lawyers in the firm make their way through case after case of fun and entertaining stuff. It does have a line of seriousness that makes it enjoyable, but it's just so well written, and the jokes are just right on every single time. I don't recognize any of the names of the writers of this show, and if they've been involved with anything else. A lot of really nice one-liners and stuff like that. And for me, when I see a show that's well written, if it's witty, if it's funny, and it just has that right amount of punch to it, it keeps me entertained. I like it a lot. And maybe that was why Big Bang didn't do it for me, is I just didn't find the jokes, accurate or not, to be as tickle my witty.
You couldn't use any of their one-liners in your day-to-day activity.
I found it's sitcom jokes where they throw in like E equals MC squared, so you can draw in like the smart crowd too.
Were they trying to make like a nerdy version of Friends with that show?
Not since I've never seen Friends.
I heard somebody try to explain it that way, and I didn't think it was accurate.
You know what? Do you remember that show, Third Rock from the Sun?
Yes.
Where the aliens are analyzing humans and all their activity?
I
think Big Bang Theory drives the same vein on, because the main character has Asperger's.
Really?
Yeah, or he's supposed to. Or at least I think, or some sort of form. If he doesn't have it, he is very analytical in life and tries to understand and very logical in all of his interactions with people.
The guy who plays Sheldon?
Yeah, Sheldon.
I just want to set my house on fire every time I see him on TV. Like, he brings fury to me that I don't get. I don't have that reaction to other TV shows, but whenever I see that guy, like he won an Emmy recently, I could play that guy. And basically be the same. I could give the same quality as he's done in The Big Bang Theory for what they've been on.
Really?
For
but
8 years now.
It's the whole, distinguishing why people do the things they do and why they say phrases. Yeah. It's just analyzing human life.
I think I just hate that guy too.
Yeah,
personally.
But we don't need to spend the whole time just picking down on the one show that Jake brings to the party here.
Oh, I don't care about that. I'm just laughing at Big Bang Theory sucks. Apple sucks. What else can we talk about that sucks? Shows that moms like suck.
The reason we're called the Unbranded Podcast is we just haven't come up with a good name for this yet. And we figure that
No
something
one
will come up
associate with us.
eventually.
That's why we're Unbranded.
Our first real show will be pretty soon once we figure that out.
Yeah, something like that. We'll see what happens.
We'll be more professional then.
But we could just go ahead and call ourselves the Hater Cast, but I'm pretty sure that if I look that up, it's already taken somewhere. People that just rant about things they hate. And that's not what we're trying to do. But we do hope that the audience is able to listen to identify with at least one of us and our likes of TV shows, and maybe we'll help somebody find a show and
1 out of 3 ain't bad.
I like that guy. I guess I can listen to him while I'm driving to work.
He doesn't suck. It's like it's like almost any of the trios or the group talk shows in Sacramento right now. There's at least one character there, one host that you don't totally hate.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I don't know if I actually have that in most Sacramento talk shows right now. It's
I'm just
all
imagining someone a listener, someone who listens to us, going, "Man, that Logan's such a jerk, and that Jake doesn't know A from B, but Mike's got a smooth tone when he talks.
Smooth baritone voice.
Mike is sexy.
I'll listen up on that."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, something like that. Whatever suits your fancy audience, we hope that you enjoy us for at least one of the many things that we do.
Because we're going to do it whether you like it or not.
We're always going to be here, at least until one of us, well, who knows what's going to happen. I don't think we have any legitimate plans for how this is going to go, except we want to do one of these once a week for about an hour, or at least, whatever I don't have to cut out and post because we get too outrageous in one form or another. Mm-hmm. And once Justin's here, I'm sure there'll be more of that.
We're talking about all this hate, and you're going to cut all the hate out.
I'm planning on cutting out most of the crap about Apple. I mean, they're a sucky company, but what else can I say?
This show's going to be, "Hi, this is Logan, Mike, and Jake. Talk to you next week, guys."
So there's that aspect. There's the video games. There's the television. We like to talk about current events and things like that. Stuff that's going on both in our lives and a little bit of outside, a little bit of pop culture, all sorts of fun things. So we hope that the audience fills with that. Of course, like us on our Facebook page, the Unbranded Podcast. Get in touch with us. Tell us a little bit what you want to hear. Things that you'd like us to discuss. We're always open for options.
Email
or at least shutting down options. I'm totally for telling you no. It does give me a little bit of a better day when I tell somebody no.
I have no problem hating on your idea.
Oh, no. I'm already hating on basically everything today. So, yeah, just send me ideas that I can shut down. What's that?
I've already unliked us on Facebook.
And he's a host. So, at least like us first so I can hit, the milestones I need to.
You won't have time to unlike you because Logan will, block you from
I'll
the page.
block you.
As soon as you add him.
But yeah, no. In all seriousness, do find us on Facebook. Let us know what you like about the podcast, what you don't like. Maybe the don't likes in a private message or something. Give us some feedback so that we can kind of change the show and grow. This is certainly something that we're in the future. We will probably be publishing the podcast on Wednesday or Thursday. But I'm sure as we start to do this consistently week to week, we'll be able to nail down an actual time in my schedule to do the production stuff, cleaning things up and making it pretty, and we'll kind of form up how we want the show to run week to week a little bit better. I know that Justin, again, he really wants to be here. He should be with us next week. But until then, I don't know, is there anything else we want to tell the audience out there?
Hopefully Justin will bring structure to the show.
I'm going to laugh when we
maybe.
talk about Justin coming to the next show, and then he just never comes.
Who's Justin?
Yeah.
And then we just have a podcast series without a Justin ever.
All of a sudden we have to slowly tweak everything to cut his name out.
Or better yet, let's just continually talk about Justin and not have him come.
It's like getting a tattoo of his
he's
name.
He's going to listen to this, and he's going to hate us before he even he's going to come in next week with this total chip on the shoulder like, you guys suck.
You know what? He'll probably be professional and have a list and a notepad and tell everything.
Totally. Like what we wanted to do this week, but just didn't. Shame on us.
It's like getting a tattoo of the Unbranded Podcast with Mike, Logan, Jake, and Justin, and then we have to change Justin to just us. Just because it's like a smooth lover. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That was a good thought. Something like that. Anyway, so hope that you have a wonderful week, listening audience, and we'll get back to you next time. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Bye. See you later.
Love you.
People, ladies and gentlemen, white and black people from around the universe. You are now listening to Random Acts of Kindness. We want you to join with us. Stand side by side with us. Skank with us. So give it to me now. All in the discotheque, all in together now. Get hectic no matter what the weather now. Reaching your bag and pulling out the record now. Gather round, outsteppers, we're outstepping. as a furnace. Got everybody jumping across the earth's surface. So please turn it up. It's about 1,000 degrees and I'm burning up. I want a piece of what you're cooking, so serve it up. You think that you heard it or you haven't heard enough. I wanna be rocking to the beat, start smoking when the beat line